You've lived enough life to know this. When a woman walks away, it doesn't always mean she's done. Sometimes it means emotions got heavy. Sometimes pride stepped in. Sometimes she needed space to breathe. And sometimes she needed to feel what life looks like without you in it. You felt the shift, the silence, the distance. But lately, something feels different. She's not fully gone. She hasn't disappeared the way someone does when they've truly moved on. There are small movements, subtle signals, a quiet presence that wasn't there before. And now you're asking yourself one question. Is she thinking about coming back? Here's what most men misunderstand. When a woman is reconsidering you, she rarely says it out loud. She doesn't send a grand message. She doesn't confess confusion. She doesn't show up vulnerable and clear. What she does is controlled, measured, quiet. She watches. She checks in indirectly. She creates tiny openings to see how you respond. And if you misread those openings, you shut the door for good. This is where many strong men lose their advantage. They either get too excited and rush in, or they get bitter and push her away. Both reactions kill attraction. Both reactions show emotional instability. And at this stage, she is studying your stability more than anything. You need awareness. You need restraint. You need confidence that doesn't beg. When a woman is done, she becomes consistent in her absence. There's no curiosity, no random resurfacing, no subtle energy shifts. But when she's thinking about returning, you'll notice small cracks in that wall she built. The key is recognizing the difference between boredom and emotional reconsideration. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 quiet signs she may be thinking about coming back into your life. These are patterns I've observed over and over again with women who still feel something but are trying to protect their pride. Pay attention to her actions, watch the timing, notice the consistency, and most importantly, control yourself. Because sometimes the only reason she finally returns is because you handled her absence with strength instead of desperation. Let's get into the signs. 1. She reappears casually. One day, she's silent, gone, peaceful like a monk in the mountains. Then suddenly, she's back. Not dramatically, not emotionally, casually. A random, "Hey, how have you been?" A reply to your story, a meme, "I saw something that reminded me of you." It looks small. It looks harmless. That's the point. When a woman is thinking about returning, she rarely comes in heavy. Her pride won't allow it. Her ego won't allow it. And her fear of rejection definitely won't allow it. So she re-enters your world in a low-risk way. Psychologically, this is called a soft re-entry. She's testing emotional temperature without exposing herself. She wants to see, are you bitter? Are you desperate? Are you different? Are you still available? And she's doing it without asking those questions directly. Now here's where men mess this up. You see her message and your brain lights up like you just won the lottery. Your fingers start typing a paragraph. You double text. You respond in 3 seconds. You ask where she's been. You bring up us. Relax. If she's reaching out casually, match that energy. Nothing more. When she says, "Hey stranger, this is not a marriage proposal. It's a temperature check." Women don't randomly reopen doors they've emotionally closed. If she truly moved on, she would protect her peace. Silence would be consistent. Distance would stay firm. But when she reappears lightly, it usually means curiosity has returned. And curiosity is dangerous, in a good way. It means she's been thinking. Maybe something reminded her of you. Maybe dating hasn't been as exciting as she expected. Maybe she's replaying old memories. Maybe she noticed you're doing better without her. Whatever triggered it, she acted on impulse. That matters. Now here's the psychological layer most men miss. She wants to see if you've grown. If you respond overly eager, you communicate that nothing changed. If you respond cold and sarcastic, you communicate emotional wounds, both lower attraction. The strongest response is calm, grounded, slightly amused energy. Example. Her. "Wow, you're alive." You. "Last time I checked, what made you think otherwise?" Light. Playful, controlled. Humor works here because it shows emotional stability. It signals you're not shaken. Women feel safe around emotional control. Think about it like this. If she knocks gently on your door, don't rip it off the hinges screaming, I knew you'd come back. Smile. Open it halfway. Let her step in slowly. And watch her behavior after that first interaction. Does she continue the conversation? Does she ask follow-up questions? Does she linger? If she does, that wasn't boredom. That was calculated curiosity. Men underestimate how much internal debate happens before that first casual message is sent. She probably typed it, deleted it, retyped it, stared at it, then finally pressed send. So when she reappears casually, don't panic, don't confess, don't interrogate. Stay centered. Because the man who handles the casual reentry with calm confidence is the man she starts reconsidering seriously. And trust me, she's watching how you handle this moment more than you think. 2. She watches quietly. You haven't heard her voice. She's not texting. She's not calling. But she's there, watching your stories, viewing your updates within minutes, liking something random from weeks ago, appearing at the top of your viewer list like she works there. That's not accidental. When a woman is thinking about returning, observation comes before action. Psychologically, this is low-risk monitoring. She wants information without exposure. She's asking herself questions you'll never hear. Is he doing better without me? Is he dating someone new? Has he changed? Does he look happy? And she's collecting answers silently. Now let's be honest. Some men post like news anchors once they notice this. Suddenly you're in the gym twice a day, posting quotes about growth, uploading old vacation pictures, acting mysterious, calm down, overperforming signals insecurity. She can feel when something is staged. If she's watching quietly, your power is in consistency, real life, real improvement, real calm. Here's why this matters. When a woman fully detaches, she avoids exposure. Watching you can trigger emotion. It can reopen feelings she's trying to shut down. If she truly didn't care, she would mute you, block you, remove herself completely. But watching means emotional curiosity is still active, and curiosity always comes before reconnection. Now, don't confuse ego checking with emotional reconsideration. Some women watch to see if they're still relevant. That's different. The key difference is consistency. If she watches everything consistently, especially over time, that's not ego. That's attachment struggling to detach. Women process breakups differently. They often appear strong first, then emotions resurface later. When the noise fades, when pride cools down, when distractions slow, memories get louder. That's when the quiet watching begins. And here's something most men don't realize. Watching without reaching out builds tension. She's observing your life without access. She sees you moving forward. She feels slightly outside your world. That feeling creates pressure, and pressure creates action, but only if you don't ruin it. Men ruin it by reacting publicly, posting indirect messages, uploading sad songs, throwing subtle shots, unfollowing to teach her a lesson. You're not teaching a lesson. You're showing emotional reaction. The man who wins in this phase is the one who appears steady, not cold, not dramatic, just stable. Imagine she's standing outside a window, looking in. If she sees chaos, she walks away. If she sees calm strength, she wonders if she left too soon. And sometimes, watching quietly is her way of rebuilding emotional safety. She needs to see that you're not the same reactive version she walked away from. So if you notice her viewing everything but saying nothing, don't chase the silence. Let it work. Because when a woman watches quietly for long enough, one of two things happens. She fades away completely, or she gathers enough emotional courage to step forward. And when she does, you'll know the watching meant something. 3. She finds small reasons. When a woman is thinking about coming back, she rarely says, "I miss you." She creates reasons, small ones, almost harmless ones. She texts about something she forgot to ask. She asks about a recommendation you once gave her. She needs advice about something she could easily Google. She sends, "Do you still have that?" knowing very well she doesn't need it urgently. These are not accidents. They are bridges. Psychologically, this is called justified contact. She needs a logical excuse to mask an emotional reason. Her pride wants protection. Her heart wants access, so she invents something practical. Now, here's what you need to understand. If she truly had zero emotional interest, she would eliminate unnecessary contact. People remove what they no longer value. Silence is easier. Distance is cleaner. But when she manufactures small reasons to reach you, it means disconnection doesn't feel complete. She's looking for a safe entry point. And most men sabotage this moment. You either overanalyze it or you shut it down. She asks, "Hey, what was the name of that restaurant we went to?" And instead of calmly answering, you say, "Why are you asking? Are you going with someone?" Relax. Interrogation makes her retreat. Remember, she's testing emotional safety. If every small question turns into a relationship audit, she'll disappear again. On the other side, some men treat it like a green light and immediately push for a deep conversation. She asks for something small, and you respond with, "So, where do we stand?" Too soon. Think of these small reasons as emotional probes. She's measuring how it feels to interact with you again. Is it tense? Is it easy? Is it awkward? Is it warm? Your job is simple. Keep it smooth. If she asks something minor, respond clearly. Add light energy. No pressure, no hidden agenda. Example, her. "Do you remember the name of that series you told me to watch?" You. "Yeah, it was a good one." Finally giving it a chance? Now the ball is in her court. You didn't push, you didn't chase, you opened space. Here's the deeper psychology. When attachment hasn't fully dissolved, the brain looks for familiar comfort during stress. If she's had a rough week, if dating feels exhausting, if something reminded her of your dynamic, she'll instinctively reach toward what once felt stable. But she won't admit that directly, so she disguises it. The key signal here is repetition. If small reasons keep appearing, they're not random anymore. They're intentional proximity, and proximity rebuilds emotional connection. Now, a little humor for you. If she suddenly needs help finding her Netflix password after months of silence, understand something. She didn't forget the password. She forgot what it felt like not talking to you. The difference matters, but you must stay grounded. Don't act surprised. Don't celebrate too early. Don't assume reconciliation is guaranteed. Just observe. Because when a woman repeatedly finds small reasons to enter your space, she's slowly lowering her emotional defenses. And if you handle it with calm strength, those small reasons can turn into longer conversations and eventually real intention. 4. She brings up memories. When a woman starts bringing up the past, the good parts, pay attention. Not the arguments, not the drama, not the "you used to annoy me when" conversations. I'm talking about the memories that carry warmth. Remember that trip we took? I drove past that place we used to go. I heard that song and thought of you. That's not random nostalgia. That's emotional resurfacing. Psychologically, memory is tied to attachment. When feelings are unresolved, the brain replays positive moments first. It softens the edges of conflict. It edits out the stress. It highlights the laughter, the chemistry, the comfort. If she were completely over you, she wouldn't be revisiting shared memories with emotional tone. She would detach from them, store them away, move forward. But when she brings them to you, she's reopening shared emotional space. Now here's what's really happening inside her. She's testing how you respond to the past. Do you respond with bitterness? Do you say "yeah" before you ruined it? Do you get overly sentimental and start promising change? Both extremes kill attraction. When she brings up a memory, she's not asking for a history lesson. She's checking emotional temperature again. She wants to see if the connection still feels light or heavy. You must stay balanced. If she says, "Remember how we got lost on that road trip?" you smile and say, "Yeah, we survived somehow." Short, calm, slight humor, no emotional overload. Now here's the deeper layer most men miss. Nostalgia is one of the strongest emotional triggers for reconnection. It creates familiarity. Familiarity creates safety. Safety creates openness. When she remembers the good times out loud, she's allowing herself to feel the bond again. And she's inviting you into that feeling. That invitation is subtle. Don't stomp on it. Some men make the mistake of trying to use nostalgia to force reconciliation. She says, "We used to laugh so much." And you respond with, "We could have that again if you just came back." Too much pressure. Too fast. Think of nostalgia like a door slightly open. Your job is not to push it wide open. Your job is to keep it from closing. There's also something important about timing. Women often revisit memories when something in their present feels underwhelming. Maybe the new attention she thought would excite her didn't. Maybe independence didn't feel as empowering as expected. Maybe she realized peace without connection feels empty. Memories become comparison tools, and if the comparison favors you, she will feel it. Now let's add some realism. Not every memory means she's coming back. Sometimes people revisit the past for closure. The difference is tone. If her tone is soft, playful, slightly emotional, that's connection. If her tone is flat, analytical, distant, that's processing. You must listen between the words. Also notice frequency. One memory mention could be random. Multiple moments brought up over time, that's pattern. Here's something men rarely consider. Bringing up memories makes her vulnerable. It exposes that she still thinks about us. That takes courage. So don't mock it. Don't minimize it. Don't act too cool. Stay grounded. Stay warm. Stay composed. And here's a little humor for you. If she suddenly remembers how you made her laugh at 2 a.m., understand this: nobody reminisces about 2 a.m. laughter unless it meant something. Nobody. When a woman emotionally erases a man, she doesn't replay his highlights. So if she's replaying them with you, there's unfinished emotion there. Handle it carefully, because nostalgia is often the first emotional bridge back to something real, if you don't burn it with ego or desperation. 5. She asks about you. When a woman starts asking about you, directly or indirectly, something has shifted. Not surface-level questions like, "You good?" I'm talking about specific curiosity. "How's work going? Are you still training? Did you ever finish that project? I heard you've been busy lately." That's not politeness. That's investment. Psychologically, when emotional attachment fades, curiosity fades with it. The brain stops allocating energy towards someone it no longer sees as relevant. Attention follows interest. So if she's asking detailed questions about your life, she's mentally placing herself back inside your world. And here's the key: she doesn't ask what she doesn't care about. Now, men often misunderstand this phase. You either give robotic answers, or you overshare like you're on a podcast. Balance matters. When she asks about you, she's measuring 3 things: your growth, your emotional stability, your availability. Let's break that down. First, growth. She wants to know if you've evolved, not just financially or physically, emotionally. Have you matured? Are you calmer? Are you handling life with more control? If you sound exactly the same complaints, same frustrations, same tone, she registers that. Second, emotional stability. If she asks about your life and you turn it into a subtle guilt trip, she feels pressure. Example: her, "How have you been?" You, "Better now that you're texting." Too heavy. Too dependent. Keep your energy grounded. Her, "How's everything going?" You, "Solid. Busy, but in a good way." That response signals direction and stability. It shows you didn't collapse when she left. Third, availability. This one is subtle. She may ask, "Are you seeing anyone?" But more often she'll ask sideways questions. "You've been out a lot lately. Looks like you've been having fun. You've changed your style." She's scanning for competition. And here's something important: curiosity increases when access decreases. If you handled the separation with dignity and didn't chase her, she now sees a version of you she can't fully read. That uncertainty fuels questions. Now, let's add some humor. If she suddenly wants detailed updates about your gym routine after months of silence, she's not training for a marathon. She's checking if someone else is benefiting from the upgrades. And that's human. Women are competitive emotionally, especially when attachment hasn't fully dissolved. But here's the mistake many men make: they try to make her jealous. You exaggerate. You hint at other women. You drop mysterious comments. That backfires if done with obvious intent. Confidence doesn't need theatrics. If you are dating, be calm about it. If you're not, don't pretend. Authenticity builds attraction. Performance builds suspicion. Also, notice how she reacts to your answers. Does she ask follow-up questions? Does she respond quickly? Does she seem slightly more engaged than usual? If yes, her curiosity is real. And understand this, asking about you is emotional risk. If she truly didn't care, she wouldn't open that door. Indifference requires no questions. When a woman starts gathering information about your life, she's mentally evaluating where she fits in it now. Are you still the man she left? Or are you someone she needs to reconsider? Your calm presence during this phase speaks louder than any speech about reconciliation. Let her ask. Answer with strength. Keep your life moving forward. Because the moment she starts asking about you consistently, she's no longer detached. She's engaged. And engagement is always the first step toward return. 6. She softens her tone. Have you noticed it? The subtle shift in how she talks to you? It's no longer sharp, defensive, or distant. Her words carry warmth now. Humor creeps in. Sarcasm lightens. Even teasing becomes playful instead of biting. This is called emotional softening, and it's a critical signal when a woman is reconsidering you. Here's the psychology behind it. When someone is emotionally detached, communication is transactional. Messages are short, neutral, or cold. The brain is protecting itself from feeling vulnerable again. But when attachment begins to resurface, the protective layer thins. Tone shifts. Volume, wording, and energy reveal emotion before words do. This isn't just about what she says. It's about how she says it. Does she smile when she texts? Does she use playful emojis instead of just statements? Does she joke in a way that reminds you of the old connection? These small indicators are emotional breadcrumbs. She's testing comfort levels. She's checking to see if she can be softer without fear of judgment or rejection. Now, men often misread this. Some panic and assume she must be ready to come back. Not yet. Softening tone isn't commitment. It's curiosity, attraction, and comfort resurfacing. Think of it like a cat stretching after being confined. The space hasn't fully opened, but the first steps are taken. Others react poorly, overcompensating with excitement or vulnerability. You see the pattern. She softens. You overshare. She withdraws again. Emotional timing is everything. Here's the practical approach. When you notice her tone shifting, match it. Don't overplay. Keep your responses light, confident, and slightly playful. Humor works brilliantly here because it signals emotional stability. You're not chasing, not proving, just interacting at an equal, relaxed level. For example, her, I can't believe you still remember that ridiculous bet we made. You, of course I remember. I win that bet every time in my mind. Playful, calm, slightly humorous. It acknowledges her message without overinvesting. Psychologically, this phase shows she's lowering defenses. She's allowing emotional energy to flow again. But she's careful. Women naturally protect themselves. She isn't diving in, she's dipping a toe in. Watch for consistency. One softened message could be a random impulse. Multiple interactions over time, that's pattern. That's her slowly letting herself feel safe in your presence again. Another key point, tone softening often coincides with testing. She might test boundaries, subtly probe your emotional availability, or see if you remain confident. These tests aren't manipulative, they're instinctive. They help her evaluate whether returning emotionally is safe. Humor helps disarm her internal tension. If she jokes about the past or teases, respond lightly. Don't lecture, don't argue, don't correct. Emotional softening is fragile. Handle it gently, with control. A little realism. Not every softened tone means she's coming back. Sometimes it's a fleeting moment, curiosity, or even simple kindness. But repeated, consistent softening paired with other signs, watching quietly, asking about you, bringing up memories, reveals emotional recalibration. When she communicates softly, she's practicing emotional intimacy again. She's reminding herself how it feels to interact with you in a non-threatening way. So notice it, appreciate it, respond with calm confidence and subtle humor. Because the man who recognizes emotional softening and handles it correctly increases the likelihood she not only thinks about returning, but imagines the possibility of being back in your world. It's small, quiet, and powerful, and it's often the turning point you'll never see coming. If you've noticed these quiet signs, casual reappearances, watching, small reasons, memories, questions, softening tone, and energy tests, you're seeing more than coincidence. She's mentally and emotionally recalibrating, weighing whether returning feels safe and appealing. Your role is simple but crucial. Stay calm, grounded, confident, and slightly playful. Don't chase. Don't overanalyze. Respond with measured warmth and humor. Let her see the man you've become while keeping your life moving forward. Women are drawn to stability, strength, and emotional intelligence. Handle her signals wisely, and you create the conditions for her curiosity to turn into genuine reconsideration.